Star Trek vs. Star Wars: The Imperial War by Darius Trent. Chapter 2. Lurking in the dark, the Ivor system, the birthplace of the Imperial invasion. Over 700 Star Destroyers still resided here, waiting for orders as the SSD Executor dwarfed all of them, silently floating in space as it continuously orbited around Ivor Prime. A full 100 Star Destroyers escorted it, in case of an attack, which at this point still seemed unlikely. On the bridge of the Executor, Darth Vader sat in the command chair, awaiting news from the attack fleet he had recently sent out. Admiral Ozzel walked in, with a pad with recent detailed news on it. "Can I assume you come with news from the fleet?" asked Vader. "I do come with news, but not of the good kind," answered Ozzel, looking down at the pad. "Our probes show the wreckage of the 10 Star Destroyers. 5 were destroyed, the remaining ones self-destructed. The scans also showed signs that the Arizona led a small group of 3 other ships against us, one of which was capable of blasting a hole straight through the shields of our vessels." "It appears your plan is not going as anticipated," remarked Vader. "Perhaps the intel we got from invading the New Providence colony was incorrect," suggested Ozzel. "Maybe the Federation has managed to resolve its internal issues and sent a full attack force our way. If that were true, we would not be encountering small groups of ships every time we attack. Therefore, I still believe it is a small splinter Federation faction that is defending them from us. I feel this would be much simpler if we brought the Death Star here," commented Grand Moff Tarkin, walking onto the bridge. "With it, we could destroy the Federation homeworld and bring a swift end to this conflict." "That would be an excellent idea, Grand Moff, if we knew where it was," countered Vader. "Our probes still haven't managed to penetrate deeper into their space, and it's only a matter of time before one side makes a mistake, and that side is increasingly looking like us." "Perhaps we could find some allies here," suggested Ozzel. "Surely someone else wants the Federation gone?" "As far as we can tell, the other powers surrounding our entry point are the Romulan Star Empire and the Breen Confederacy, both of which are extremely isolationist," answered Vader. "There are rumors of a Klingon Empire, a Cardassians Union, and a Dominion, but we are yet to encounter them." "They can't keep destroying our probes forever," commented Ozzel. He walked up to a map of explored territory surrounding their location, the map going as far down as the Paulson Nebula and as far up as what was referred to as the Delta Quadrant by the locals. "We may be able to try and find a different route to their homeworld by going through a region of space between the Romulans and the Federation called the Neutral Zone. Interrogation suggests that neither side is allowed to enter the region, giving us a corridor deeper into their space. It will mean, though, we will have to continuously change course, as there are a variety of anomalies and boundaries we will have to avoid in order not to get caught on either side." "That sounds like a good plan," answered Vader. "Have a series of probes prepared." "Yes, my lord," replied Ozzel. He walked out of the bridge, his new orders causing him to walk with increased pace. "He's not the most experienced officer, you know," remarked Tarkin. "He served a significant portion of his life teaching." "We'll just wait and see if his plan works out," replied Vader. "If it fails to bear anything, I will make sure he won't make any more mistakes." "Very well then, my lord." Tarkin walked out of the bridge, Vader facing away from him, looking out into space. From the outside, the Executor and its escorts still orbited Ivor Prime, waiting for the probes to bring in the necessary routes needed for them to invade and destroy the Federation homeworld. Captain's log stardate, 57,638.09. The Arizona has rendezvous with the USS Enterprise and its fleet to report our status and next mission. I'm eager to hear news from Earth and the status of Starfleet Command. Captain Trent walked onto the bridge of the USS Enterprise. A Sovereign-class ship, the Enterprise had been the flagship of the Federation since its completion in 2372, and had been through its fair share of conflict. Never before, though, had it faced such an enemy as it did now, a tyrannical human-driven civilization whose sole purpose seemed to be to dominate over all other forms of life, human or not. Scans of Imperial-controlled space suggested nearly 1,000 Star Destroyers, with one vessel of at least 19 kilometers in length in the Ivor system, presumably their flagship. He wondered how they would defeat such an enormous vessel with only 10 ships at their disposal. Before pressing the doorbell on Picard's ready room, he faintly heard the word Come, before the doors slid open, revealing the 75-year-old admiral at his desk. Come in, Captain, welcomed Picard, gesturing his hands to the empty guest chair in front of him. Trent walked in and sat in the chair, looking forwards at Picard as he brought up something on his PADD. I want you to take a look at this. He handed him the PADD, and Trent looked at it in horror as he read the headline. The Federation's going to dismantle the Discovery? Asked a horrified Trent. I'm afraid so, replied Picard, getting out of his chair. Based on the testimony provided by Captain Saru and Commander Michael Burnham, the Federation Council thinks it best if the ship were no longer in service. They say its existence is a threat to Federation security. Well, at least that'll free up Starfleet to fight the Empire with us. That's where it gets even worse, continued Picard. When they investigated the Discovery, they also discovered extensive references to Section 31, including the operation of a small fleet of ships which is still in service today. As a result, Starfleet Command is going to go through internal restructuring. But that could take months at best, complained Trent, and the Empire could destroy us long before then as well. Yes, it seems our situation is dire, replied Picard. However, I've taken the liberty of asking one of my contacts to free up Discovery and her crew for us. How much longer do you think we can keep this up? Asked Trent. If the Federation Council's too busy to notice us, I'd reckon we can go with this for maybe a month or two before the Imperials overwhelm us. Your contact better be good, commented Trent. Oh, trust me, jokingly retaliated Picard. He knows what he's doing. Have you got new orders for me? Asked Trent, attempting to change the topic of the conversation. Yes, I do actually, answered Picard. The USS Hotspur has reported an increase in the numbers of probes it's had to stop. As she is a Miranda class with a somewhat older computer system, her targeting computer will soon be unable to keep up with the amount of probes coming her way. I want the Arizona, the Olympus and the Destiny to reinforce her patrol of the areas where the probes can go deeper into our space. I'm also going to assign Ensign Organa to you to help you with the probes. You mean Princess Leia? Asked Trent. I thought she was only an observer. Yes, well, me and Mr. Worf came to the decision that, as she looked like she would be with us for quite some time, we may as well give her a rank so she can access some information on the Enterprise. Understood, replied Trent. And how long do you want us to do this? At least until Discovery is able to come to us, replied Picard. Until then, stay vigilant. Understood, sir, replied Trent. We'll do our best. I wouldn't expect any less of you, based on our time working together. Good luck, Captain. The two shook hands before Trent walked out of the room and onto the bridge, where he made his way to the turbolift. Deck 7, ordered Trent as he walked into the turbolift. The doors hissed shut and the familiar sound of the turbolift whirring began. The whirring suddenly slowed to a halt as it stopped before its original destination to let in another person. Trent could already tell who that person was. Princess Leia Organa. She was wearing a Command Division Starfleet uniform. It appeared that Admiral Picard was correct about giving her an actual rank, as she now wore an ensign's pip on her collar. In her hands was a PADD, obviously with orders on it from Picard. Hey there, Captain, greeted Leia with a smile. Captain Picard told me I was going to be working with you now on the probe's assignment. Funny that, he told me the same, replied Trent with a smile. Are you going to the transporter room as well? I was going to get R2-D2 and C-3PO from engineering first, answered Leia. R2 seems to have taken a liking to Commander LaForge now. He'll only get repairs and upgrades given to him there. I see, remarked Trent. LaForge has been working with artificial beings for quite a while now. He definitely knows what he's doing with your friends. He does, replied Leia as the lift doors closed. Deck 16. The lift started whirring again, still to its original destination but now with a second one after. I see Picard gave you a rank, commented Trent. He did. I needed it to access some star charts of the area in my own time. It's only a temporary rank. As soon as this is all over, I can go back to being a part of the rebellion. Actually, I heard about an attempt to contact them, added Trent. How's that going? So far not so good, answered Leia. We tried sending a probe through the anomaly, but it got destroyed before it could enter. Our next hope is to automate the Tantive IV and send it through the anomaly. Okay then, replied Trent as the doors opened to Deck 7. Well, this is my stop. I'll see you on the Arizona then, remarked Leia. See you then, ended Trent, giving Leia a nod before walking out of the turbolift, hearing the doors hiss shut behind him. He walked through the corridors of the Enterprise until he found the transporter room. Ensign, can you beam me to the Arizona? Asked Trent as he walked into the room. I can beam you there, answered the ensign as she started to input the coordinates of the Arizona's transporter room. Stand by. Very well, ensign, replied Trent as he walked onto the pad. He made sure to stand on one of the yellow areas on the pad, as this was the area where he would be dematerialized. Energize, ordered Trent once he was in position. The ensign pressed a few buttons on her console, before raising one of the sliders on her controls, dematerializing Trent as he turned into a complex data pattern, ready to be transmitted to the Arizona for rematerialization. And in the space where Trent once stood was nothing but air as the rest of the Enterprise continued on without him.